Okay, everybody, good evening once again, and I'm back, and this time I'm now going to do another Survivor video, as tonight's episode of Survivor just concluded, and you were in for a couple of surprises. Because I can tell at Tribal Council, based on the final decision, two of the female survivors did something that they had planned to do because of how they felt. Because I can tell that survivors NaOnka and of course Kelly S. I don't know what the S stands for, but Kelly S. better known as Purple Kelly. Well, at Tribal Council they made their ultimate decisions, and with that they said their things to Jeff, and in the end, for their decisions, each of them chose to quit the game. That's right, they chose to quit. Even though they did choose to quit, their torches did not get laid down, however. I mean, the last person to quit the game, which had, which the decision was made at Tribal Council, that was 5 years ago in Season 10 when Palau, when Janu quit the game. But, of course, I remember that. But for NaOnka and Kelly, and Purple Kelly, they both probably wanted to quit because they had fears of quitting, well, probably due to the weather and all this, and of course this was not the first time this season which some people had experienced cases of quitting before. There was also one other survivor who originally wanted to quit probably near day 5, but she still hasn't, but she then later chose not to quit because then she learned something, and this was of course day 5, this was also back when Jimmy Johnson was still in the game. That other survivor, that being Holly, of course, she had thought about quitting by day 5, but thanks to that pep talk, she stayed in the game, and Holly still is in the game. But of course, NaOnka and Purple Kelly, them choosing to quit, somehow the biggest quit. It's probably one of the boldest moves ever for history. 2 people quitting with that. It's quite a big surprise, I know. Some of you might feel a little bit surprised. Some of you might feel angry about them quitting. But of course, those quitters, I think, with them quitting, they probably might be the biggest losers in Survivor history. Probably making the dumbest moves. Because I know if they really do lose it out when they really choose to quit. After all, there's the old saying, quitters never win, and winners never quit. And if in the future, if I ever appear on a future season of Survivor, because I am old enough to apply for it, but I'd have to get a passport to leave the country. But if I ever do appear on a future episode of Survivor, I know I personally don't want to quit, even if it means surviving in bad weather conditions. I know I don't want to quit, because I wouldn't want to quit the game, because I want to play right until the end. Because, after all, you really shouldn't give up. Yeah, that's right, don't chicken out. And all this, but after all. But for those two, both NaOnka and Purple Kelly, them quitting, still stupid. And I know, speaking of but as I said, it's their decision. And of course, it's okay for them to quit, but as I know, for me, but as I said, if I ever appear on a future season of Survivor, I will never quit. And speaking of not quitting, I know I'm not gonna be quitting out of YouTube anytime soon, as I'm staying on YouTube for a very long time. I'm not leaving. My account is still staying open. I know, and I know my YouTube friends. I know have never had any thoughts of quitting anytime soon. So, because after all, if my friends ever chose to quit, I'd feel disappointed. So, after all, people should never ever quit. That's why that statement, "Winners never quit and quitters never win," still makes sense. And as I still say, for NaOnka and Purple Kelly, they were quitters, and I know they probably were still. Probably 2 of the biggest losers, and probably 2 of the dumbest players for this season of Survivor, all just because of them making the decision to quit at Tribal Council. So, there you go. Well, anyways, that's the Survivor video about, and that's all I gotta say. Hope you have a great night, and I'll see you next time.